was, So I was like, yeah, give me a little ketchup with that. Like it was like the record, like skip. Like I asked, like I sinned, right? And I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Game day in Harrisburg is second to none.
Harrisburg fans are known for, whether it's here, whether it's in Mitchell, whether we drive to Brookings, we all kind of come together to support our team. It's a lot of fun. We look forward to it all year round, and with the nice weather, you have to get out.
Obviously for winning, it's a lot better. And we've won 2 or 3 games in 2.5 weeks. So I think that the energy's back here in Harrisburg. So I expect a full crowd. Mitchell travels so well, but when this place is rocking, it's a pretty cool place to be.
It's going to be a hostile environment for us, and I'd like to see us get a little fire under our bellies, and I think obviously that atmosphere will probably lend itself to that.
From the tailgating to the rabid fan support, part of what also makes the Friday night experience so unique is the in-stadium presentation, which is run almost entirely by students.
During school hours, we put in about probably like 3 hours-ish of like prep work. And then like right now, we kind of just got like a checklist we go through.
So if you go through a little bit of a checklist, we have, of course, we're going to have 2 down cameras. And we have 1 top camera, and that's just for the video board. We have a person here with the stat screen. We have the streaming side of things. We have cheerleading intros that'll come in. They pop up on our screen. We green screen them earlier.
I think this game we're going to be using like a score clock kind of. In the past, we haven't been able to have like a score clock on our like score screen.
For the stream camera, we have 2 stream cameras. So when it comes to all the cameras, they're all white balanced, they're on the right gain, and they're leveled, and that they're connecting well to our computer. Right now we're going to be queuing up radio announcers when they come. Farther down just a little bit there, then we have 1 person in charge of the instant replay. And then we have our director, which is Joanne Vermullum, and then she directs the shots for the video board. We're in charge of it, but like when it comes to giving them the practice and for them to do the stats and the graphics, and they're running the camera work, and you're teaching them and you're pulling it all off. And then people ask you about that, and these are students that are 14, 15, 16, 17 years old doing all this particular work.
Friday's game figures to be especially ruckus, with the defending 11AA champion Mitchell Colonels coming to town on senior night. While it's been about a year since the schools last squared off, both teams returned most of their roster from last season, so there's still plenty of bad blood between the Colonels and the Tigers.
Really excited. I mean, they've been talking a lot of crap. Last year when we played them in basketball, they wore their championship rings and jerseys. Then this year for volleyball, they wore their state dome shirts. And I mean, White doesn't really even have to like hype us up during practice weeks, because we all know how big of a game it is, and we just want to beat them as bad as possible.
I'm sure they're going to be wanting to get some payback, but I think if we go out and play our game, we'll be all right.
These last 2 weeks are so important for seed-wise. If you can get that second playoff game at home, it's a make-or-break deal usually. So, yeah, things are getting pretty tight right now.
One of Mitchell's returning starters is quarterback Keel Nelson. Keel, whose older brother Cannon plays for the Jackrabbits, has been playing for his dad, Mitchell offensive line coach Paul Nelson, since his Pee-wee football days.
It's been a privilege to work with Keel and Cannon, and obviously to work on a daily basis with Paul as a coach. He's just been important to the development of our program over the last 4 years.
Back in Park and Rec, he was my coach, and middle school, I guess 8th grade year, he moved up so he could coach Cannon, but other than that, I've always had him as a coach. So
I'm pretty fortunate in that I have a wife that allows me to do that, and a business partner that lets me leave the office at 2:30 and come out here and play with these football guys, and it's been a lot of fun.
Did you just assume that he'd be a quarterback like his older brother? What did you think it'd be?
I really had no idea. I mean, I knew that they both had an interest in throwing the football around. They're pretty athletic kids. They play multiple sports. I guess it's only natural that he kind of, went that direction, looking up to a bigger brother and, throwing the ball around.
we spent all our time growing up like playing catch out in the yard and stuff like that. So I was just trying to like pick up tips from him on how to throw a ball good or whatever. And I guess I've just always kind of been doing that football-wise, basically for my whole life, I guess.
I think their mental makeup is pretty similar in that they don't take things too serious. They take it as it comes, but they're extremely competitive guys.
Probably the biggest similarity is that they both kind of approach playing quarterback, at least at the high school level, approach it almost like playing a linebacker position, because we got to talk to Keel sometimes about the amount of contact that he goes and looks for at that quarterback position.
I guess just growing up, he always told me, like, what he would tell me is go get the first down. That's what he would always tell me. And so I guess that's just kind of always stuck with me. Like, if we're down, say, 3rd and 5, and I'm running it, I got to go get the first down, because otherwise Cannon's not going to be very happy with me. So,
how special was it for you last year getting to share and winning a state championship with?
You know, yeah, it was great for Keel and I to do that together, but it was such a big deal for the city of Mitchell. When we looked up there and saw the majority of that one side was in black and gold, and our student section, it was bigger than us.
Hey, start to finish here tonight together. Start to finish. Play fast, play fierce, score every single possession. You know, you think about that question. You know, why we play. Why we play right here for games like tonight, and obviously for each other.
I love that this group, gentlemen. Hey, it's not a movement, it's a domination night. You understand that? Yes, sir.
I've been looking forward to this one.
We ready for God. We ready. We ready. We ready for God. We ready. We ready. We ready for God.
Our effort overall, can't say enough about our defense. They just did an excellent job against a very good Harrisburg team.
Hand off to number 7, Jack Rayburn.
Deep for the Colonels, Jordan Dirk.
We knew, if we could control the line of scrimmage and get to their fullback and some veer stuff, and scrape across and get Keel on some of the run plays, we knew we'd be successful. Force them into a passing situation like we did tonight, and our kids just executed. We try to mix in a few things with the Rayburn kid and trying to get our athletes in space. It could be a huge package down the road. We don't know, obviously, but we like to have those options. If something's not working correctly, we got something else to rely on for a little bit and try to get something rolling.
There you go, get there, get on the ball, get on the ball,
Definitely anticipated, this type of football game, and for us, thought maybe it would come down if one team would blink a little bit, and we did with the turnover, and of course, came back to bite us. The officials make their calls, and like I said, my perspective of it is across the field and obviously on the sideline. And we talked about at halftime of we're not going to be victims. We control what we can control as a football team, and I think that's the healthiest way to really teach our kids that there's going to be ups and downs, and you got to fight back and you got to battle.
It was a good throw. We just made a play, and I knew he had possession of it. He just, late, they kind of bounced it out after the play was pretty much over.
You always want to come back and point to something, and with that, I can point to some just lack of execution on our part, from the offensive side, and that's probably, the cause of our loss.
From Connect intended for number 7, Jack Rayburn. Hand off. Morzeka's punt is touched first by number 32, Brecken Hamilton. To number 30, Jack Anderson.
He's doing fine. He's frustrated, obviously, with not big games, but we told him coming this year it's going to be tough. They're going to key on you, and he understands that. He's a team player, and one of these times he's just going to bust out and have a big game.
See it? Close and get beat inside, then you're fine. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jordan Dirks.
Looking for something to be able to just change up what we were doing. Obviously, the Harrisburg player made a huge play in the end zone against our receivers.
We just got to stay disciplined on that.
Yeah. To number 46, Sam Lowes.
It's about taking care of the football, but it's also pressure by the other team, and we want to eliminate that. But turnovers, they have been an Achilles heel for us. You got to have ball security, and that's something we can just continue to work on and get better. And as a coach, I need to put our guys in better situations to be successful.
Let's go! Let's go!
technique by number 15, Troy Connect, at the yard line. Pass from Nelson complete.
Win big, right? Yes, W. Yeah. It's an FYI. Just said I can see you in a couple weeks. All right? Fine with us. Right? Can't wait.
We got to turn the page. We got to go to work because memory serves me. This isn't the playoffs. It's not over yet, right? We win every game from this point out. We're still state champs.